How do you feel about disaster preparedness when you hear the word disaster preparedness? I know that you have explained it to me really briefly a while ago, but we like to hear it so we can all share it with other people.
Well, I'm a native Californian, so earthquakes really don't shake me up much.
Describe to us how it was as far as like the elements, the environment. Was it panic? People were out of disarray. People.
And I always like to think, what am I going to need in the event of earthquakes that I won't have when the society falls apart for 2 or 3 days.
Right, exactly. When there's no outside support system,
Yes.
what are you going to do?
Right, you have to have food that you can't, you don't have to refrigerate or heat. You'll have to have someplace to live in case you don't have a house. You'll need like sleeping bags, blankets, maybe a tent or two.
Earlier that really strike me a little bit because I haven't heard that respond from other people that I have talked to approach. So you had mentioned that you have a background of National Guard.
Yes.
So share us a little bit about that. How you would, the experiences that you had before in the earthquake 1994, let's say, but even 1970s back then. Share us with that. How did you travel out, evacuate yourself at that time?
Well, I was in the, I was in Oxnard. I was volunteering at the homeless shelter that our armory becomes during the winter months. When the earthquake hit, once I was relieved by somebody who came in, then I took my car, listened to the radio, found out that all the direct routes between Oxnard and my house were all down for various reasons. So I took what I like to call the Grand Circle to Southern California. I took 101 north, then I took 33 inland, then I took 166 going east, took a little piece of the I-5, then I went to 58 going over to Tehachapi, then I hopped on to the 14 coming down.
How long did that take you, all that?
Oh, probably about 3-4 hours.
4 hours.
Right, because some of the areas down there, everybody was going slow, or there were minor rock slides and whatnot.
So, I'm here with Michael from Help the Children.
Yeah, so back when this disaster occurred, we didn't have cell phones. Some people were amateur radio people. They might have had walkie-talkies or their citizens' bands radios. But as far as...
You said the 1970 earthquake disaster, when you experienced that, how did you feel about it?
Well, first off, it was an earthquake that lasted 1 minute, and it got me out of school for a whole month. Because the water in the reservoir was so stirred up that when you turned on your faucet, you got silt coming out of your faucet. It wasn't drinkable. So all of a sudden now there's a water shortage for bottled water at the grocery stores. This is before the health food craze. Additionally, Coca-Cola, the soda pops, even beer was becoming on short supply because people were going to their alternate non-water drink for relieving thirst. Also, too, there were sadly a lot of people injured, and consequently, medical supplies now become an issue, too. You might want to have an emergency first aid kit on hand, either in your car or your home, or both.
Multiple places.
Correct.
And easy access when in case you need it for emergency, obviously.
And also, too, you need to be aware of your surroundings at all times because not everybody is going to be honest and looking out for each other's welfare. They might be looking out only for their welfare. So it's not just those emergency supplies, but knowing that in an emergency, some people succumb to the panic syndrome. And it's me first at any cost over anybody else. So just be prepared that not everybody's going to be there most generous when things are toughest.